Karibu S Litigator. Welcome to S Litigator. At S Litigator, we understand the needs of our customers and tailor legal services to those needs. Our team of legal professionals is always on standby to offer valuable legal advice. Any other resource becomes useful only because of the input of the human resource.
The Kenyan legal system has expanded the scope of rights and obligations through domestic law and international legal norms. Do you think right holders understand the process through which these rights and obligations can be enforced?
Our society generally is very litigious, and this points to a general awareness by people on the role of courts and even administrative bodies as avenues for providing space for people to ventilate their legal problems. So what tends to lack is that understanding of specific steps one must take to have their day in court or in an administrative body. For example, we have so many disputes, and all of them must not end up in court. All of them do not start with what we call a plaint. We have some where you do a petition. So if a litigant is not aware on the type of document, the forum where they can take their dispute, then it affects access to justice, because they may end up in a wrong forum to agitate their dispute when that forum does not even have what we call jurisdiction to deal with the issue.
Our court system is such that disputes must be commenced formally and in writing. Accordingly, not many court users will have the advantage of being familiar with the type of pleadings that are required to be filed, or even the nature as well as the legal rules that are relied on in filing these disputes.
The increasing number of disputes in court shows an appreciation of the court process. The actual adjudication and the outcomes sadly point to a sickening problem: poorly drafted pleadings. Is this a problem of lay persons only? Not at all. It's unfortunate that the net casts wide, and in it you find court users, both lay and trained advocates.
Interesting observation. I followed a bunch on social media decrying the fallen standards of drafting of pleadings. Is the situation that dire?
Social media is like a marketplace where people meet to gather and exchange news and what is happening. I keep saying, if you find something on social media, it is certainly worth the space, time, and attention. It is true, the standards of dispute resolution have fallen, but that does not point to a problem with the caliber of legal professionals in the market, not at all. It points to other issues which come together to affect the quality of legal practice, the quality of pleadings filed in courts and administrative bodies. One of them is time. Time is a very crucial factor in access to justice. We have limited time, and in the face of rapidly changing laws, I'm sure you see every day there's a change in law, a new law has come in place. It's also difficult to keep up with those changes. And I'll give an example. Once while in court, when we were still attending physical court, I was served with a document in children's matter. And when you look at the prayers that were being made in that document, they were anchored on totally unrelated legal provisions. And so when you look at such a document, how would a judicial officer give you prayers that are anchored on legal provisions that are not in existence? So in as much as a litigant or an advocate will be allowed time, because nowadays in our justice sector, we do not want to throw out cases on technicality. So they will take out time to go and amend and regularize the documents. But at the tail end of that spectrum is a child who's not attending school, for example, or who's not been provided for. And the longer we take to get them these solutions means that even for them, the wheels of justice are grinding too slow. Someone else again asked While in court, again in a children's matter, for a child to be provided for in terms of education, but then based the application on wrong provisions of the law. So to regularize again these pleadings, they will require time, and as I have mentioned before, time is a very crucial factor, and I would say a resource in the justice sector. So when we have a lot of time being wasted on things that could easily be remedied by having proper pleadings, having a sound understanding of the dispute resolution processes, then we end up with a situation that is catastrophic.
Isn't catastrophic a strong word to use? Is it that bad?
The situation is bad, yes. Catastrophic is not a strong word to use. Actually, it's an understatement, especially when you see justice being delayed because a party has to withdraw their application to file a fresh one, or has to seek for more time to regularize their pleadings. As I keep on saying, time is very precious for judicial processes. When it's lost on issues that could be avoided, just remember that at the end of that spectrum is an innocent party suffering injustice.
From your explanation above, I now understand the value of time for the justice sector. What can be done to remedy the situation?
I think it is paramount that court users, advocates, and anyone else seeking the services of a court understands the procedures, rules of procedure, and the laws that are in place. This would really help save time in terms of prosecuting their matters in court, but also they must ensure that the documents that they're presenting in court are well drawn and they have brought out the legal claim they have clearly. This would enable them to have the greatest chance of actually having their legal right enforced. So that is a value that Litigator brings to the table. We assure you of very well drafted, well researched documents.
The solution to remedy this situation is, of course, Litigator. And I see the look on your face. You're wondering, how does Litigator come in? A group of us in the legal profession came together and founded Litigator as our contribution to access to justice in Kenya. We looked at the falling standards, especially in terms of drafting of pleadings. We looked at the best practices and said, why not package the information and the knowledge we have into a database and share these with the rest of Kenyans at a small fee. So Litigator is the solution.